Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Captain Beardy here, and I'm currently in bed, and I'm watching what can only be described as just a blatant attempt to try and stir something up over Fallout 76, and it kind of got me thinking, how can this person, who will not be named, be this stupid after all the information we have has been released about Fallout 76? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all of the things that were just completely and utterly wrong that I've seen, not only from this one person, but from a lot of other people, and just try and basically say what we know is going to happen in Fallout 76. Stop speculating about a bunch of stuff and trying to get people riled up. Okay, stick with the facts. So, I'm going to start off with the obvious one, that is, single player. We know that there is no single player, right? We know that you can play by yourself, okay? You don't have to be with 4 other people or 3 other people or whatever. You can, just avoid people if you want to. You can do a single solo player experience without having to bump into, everybody. Servers are only limited to a maximum of about 30 people. On a map that big, you're probably going to bump into maybe 1 or 2 people. Plus, at the minute, as far as we know, we can see the people on the map. So you can see all other 29 people on the map and just completely and utterly avoid them. And even if you don't want to do any of that, even if you just get, frustrated with bumping into people, be it in the beta or when the game finally comes out, you can just wait until private servers are released and just go and get a private server and play by yourself. Right? It's not a big deal. Yes, I understand that everybody, was wanting, the next Fallout game to be just like all the other ones, but you have to also remember, this is not a Fallout game. This is not Fallout 5, as was previously mentioned by a lot of people. Right? It's not Fallout 5. Stop trying to make it Fallout 5. It is simply just a new type of way to play Fallout and a new IP that is just very interesting, okay? It's not Fallout 5. If you want Fallout 5, go play Fallout 4 with a bunch of mods, right? It's not that. It's going to be an interesting type of experience, but it's not Fallout 5. Now, the next thing that people have been utterly just trying to rip into, which is very stupid, because a lot of the videos I've seen have come out after all the information we currently have has already been posted by about 2 days. And NPCs is one thing that everybody seems to be getting really, really, really annoyed at, because, as we know, there are no NPCs, because everybody you bump into in the world is a real life player, as Todd Howard said. Now, it has, and it might be true that there will be robots. Now, we know from the trailer, we've seen robots all over the place. Greenbrier, we know in the vault, there's a lot of Mr. Gutsies or whatever they're called. And people are just saying that there's no NPCs, there's no factions or quest givers to bump into. Yeah, it's 25 years after the nuclear bombs fell. The Enclave technically hasn't left the oil rig yet. The Brotherhood of Steel is still trying to fiddle around, trying to get it all together. The Minutemen don't exist for a long time. A lot of people are still inside of vaults, if not dead or in the middle of nowhere, and probably a lot of cities haven't even turned up yet. A lot of stuff hasn't happened in the Fallout universe because, technically the Fallout has only just settled. So anybody living before then would have either been ghoulified or is dead, right? So yeah, there's no NPCs, but there is a glimmer of hope, because people say that along with the no NPCs, that there's no factions. There is a faction in the game, a semi-feral, ghoul-like faction that can actually use guns. So when you say there are no NPCs, there are no quest-giving NPCs like you would see with people in Fallout 4 or Fallout 3, but there are NPCs. There is also like 68 different types of monsters to fight and interact with, right? And on the other note of, robots, people are saying that when you, and I'll get into this a little bit later, but people are saying when you build something, or if you want to trade, you have to do it face to face. No, it has been mentioned and possibly hinted at that you will be able to set up robot vendors. They say they're working on something similar, so yeah, don't get too bogged down about that. Now, people are saying it's just a Minecraft, Fortnite, Rust clone kind of thing all wrapped up into one, to which really the only thing I can say is shut up, because it's not. Now, people are saying, oh, of course it's going to be a Rust clone because, PvP all over the place. No, PvP is completely and utterly optional. And they actually gave a very good description of it, which was, you are walking down a road and you see a Deathclaw. You immediately have two choices: shoot the Deathclaw or turn around and run away. If you choose to shoot the Deathclaw and die, you then have two other choices, which is try it again or turn around and walk away, right? PvP is completely, and I'm going to say this as slow as I can, so people out there who want to immediately jump on it, like, oh my god, Fallout 6 is just a Rust clone. No, PvP is completely optional, okay? If I said it any slower, I'd be going in slow motion. PvP, completely and utterly optional. If someone, you have to, instigate it, right? So if someone is trying to instigate, you can immediately just nah, bro. Nah, I don't want to do this. I want to go and play some Fallout and, do a quest or go do some building, okay? And they'll just be like, right, okay. And with the griefing, it's entirely the same, right? People can't just turn up and attack you. You have to accept the attack as far as we know. This might change, right? The beta has not come out yet, so stuff might be changed from the beta, okay? So take all of this with a pinch of salt, okay? Just, this is what we know so far. Now, real quickly, people are pissed off that it's online only. Yes, it's online only. Get over it. There's not much I can really say on that. It's a type of game that is just going to be continuously online. It's like Destiny. I'm pretty sure Destiny is continuously online. There we go. You've got Destiny was a good game, right? Destiny 2 maybe not so much, but Destiny 1 was a pretty decent game, okay? So stop just jumping all over Fallout 76 before you've even seen anything on it. We've seen a maximum of, I think, 5 minutes of rough gameplay, and that was stuff recorded probably weeks ago, if not months. So get off its back. Yes, it's online play. If you do not like that, do not get the game. It's that simple. Now, people are kind of annoyed that there is no end game. Yes, that is true. There is no end game. It is a online RPG style game. World of Warcraft, as far as I know, does not have a end game. Now, it's just how it is, okay? If you don't like the fact that it doesn't have an end game, mod in an end game. Mods will eventually be a thing, okay? We know this. Todd Howard has said this. We know for a fact that private servers will eventually come out, not on release, but down the line, maybe half a year into it, if not sooner, hopefully, right? So mod in an end game. And see, this is another thing I'm going to cover, right? A lot of the stuff, like no NPCs, no factions, okay, get a private server, mod in the Enclave, mod in the Minutemen, mod in, I don't know, the Brotherhood, mod in whoever you want, okay? That's what people aren't getting about this game when I see them trying to rip into it. They're like, oh, we'll never be able to do anything like we did in Fallout. Mod it in, okay? I've seen people mod stuff that is just absolutely crazy into Fallout 4. I'm pretty damn sure with a private server that you have set to one person only, just as yourself, could mod in NPCs, or you could hire someone to create the mod for NPCs, okay? It's just get over it. You settling on facts that could possibly change down the line. You don't know this. The DLC could come out where you go to the Capital Wasteland and bump into people who were ghoulified and you met in Fallout 3. You don't know all of this stuff, and you're just getting not everyone, I'll say this, not everyone. A lot of people have actually gone down the same route I've kind of covering here, where they've said, oh, there's going to be no NPCs or anything, but when modding comes out, I want to mod in the Brotherhood, or I want to mod in the Enclave up at Greenbrier Resort. All this stuff, right, you can fix it with mods, so don't get too caught up on it. Now, on a griefing side of thing, people are saying nukes are just going to make the entire thing a completely and utterly pointless game to play. Why should I even buy it? Nukes are end-game only, right? And I said there is no end-game, so nukes are high level only, right? They are you go through the game, you progress, you get bigger, you get a lot of power armor, you get a lot of big guns, you get all your stats and all that kind of stuff. Then you go after nukes. You don't walk out of Vault 76 door and immediately go, do you know what? I want a nuke. I mean, I bet you there'll be people who try it, but it's not what nukes are intended for. Plus, and I'm going to say this because people oh, they just seem to skip right over this. Nukes are used to create a type of dungeon, okay? They are not a griefing tool. They can be used as a griefing tool, and, you know, when a nuke is launched, you will know a nuke is launched. It's a missile, right? You don't hear a plane fly overhead and go, oh, I wonder what that was, right? You hear a missile come in, you immediately know you're going to get nuked, okay? So either stand still or get out of the way. But they are used to create, I don't want to use the word endgame, but high-level dungeons where you can go, you can fight max level or higher than your level style enemies, right? And from that, get better loot, better resources, okay? It's an interesting premises because you can create the endgame dungeon yourself. And I don't want to use endgame, but it's basically, at the minute, that is our endgame, you know, going to the dungeon and stuff. So you can choose where to create that. And, you know, you don't have to choose a capital area, right? You don't have to choose a settlement or a person. You can just nuke the middle of nowhere to create an endgame dungeon that everybody can share in and go and, like, play and loot and fight, right? Stop getting all these caught up on nukes just saying, oh yeah, the only reason they're in is because they're a griefing weapon. They are not. They are an interesting endgame style weapon, okay? Get over it. Okay, building. Now, building is something that people haven't really dissed into much, which I'm kind of happy with, because the only thing I've really seen is people talking about, well, because it's online play, you know, what happens to my settlement if I log off? You know, what happens if, you know, I'm in the middle of building something and, I don't know, the door rings or whatever, or all this kind of stuff, and I have to go answer. Right, this is what we know, okay? If you are building something and you're like, do you know what, I'm done with Fallout 76, I want to get off and maybe watch a movie or go out or something. When you log off, right, your settlement goes with you. So it vanishes from that patch where you were building it, and it gets saved on, I don't know, the server of the cloud or whatever technological marvel that they'll use for this, right? That's what happens to it. You don't have to worry about logging off, someone walking up to it and nuking it or spray painting it or whatever, okay? It won't happen. It's a way of stopping griefing and all this other kind of stuff, okay? So, that is one point of building, right? The other point is people are kind of confused about what happens when it comes up to, if you want to, say you walk out of Vault 76, you get enough resources to build a very nice, tiny little camp, and you set up by a river, because, you know, you like the scenic look, okay? And then you go out exploring, maybe 2-3 days later, you find a new place that you go, oh, do you know, I'd actually like to set up here. What you can do is you can go back to that camp, enter build mode, save everything, so everything you build and put down can be saved as a blueprint style kind of system thing, and then you can pack up, go to the place you found, put it down, and all of your buildings will be pretty much roughly where they were. If not, you'll just have to take the blueprint and put it down again, okay? Don't worry about that kind of stuff. I was kind of apprehensive about, you know, what might happen with building all this kind of stuff, but when I learned and when I watched the interviews and got the information, people who don't do this and just create these diss tracks to try and, you know, take the piss out of Fallout 76, I'm talking to you. After I watched the interviews and listened to the information, I learnt and I recognized and I now know that building is probably going to be, I don't know, the safest thing you can do in the game next to, I don't know, not leaving the vault, okay? So don't worry about your buildings being destroyed by people or stuff happening to them when you log off. They come with you. And if, you know, the moving is completely and utterly safe. So, yeah, that's fine. And finally, the last thing that really kind of got on my nerves, right, was... And I'm not going to say the name of the channel, right, okay, because it'll just start something. But there was a guy doing a video who said that the only reason Bethesda have put in microtransactions is because they want to be like EA and have all this, you know, money coming in and stuff and all that kind of stuff, and that kids will be just paying to win. You have no idea how fast I cringed at hearing the guy say, oh yeah, Bethesda has just made a pay-to-win game. Right. Microtransactions, and I will do this like I said with the other one, I will do it as slow as possible. Microtransactions are cosmetic only, okay? There is no, oh, I feel like getting a fat man that can fire 18 bajillion missiles or whatever, right? You can't buy guns or armor or perks or anything like this with the microtransactions from the information we have been given. from the information we have been given, only thing you can buy is cosmetics. So that is armor, the way an armor looks, okay? So, you know, cool little paint job, the way guns look. Like with the Tricentennial version, you get some special skins for power armor and for weapons, right? Okay, you get a cool little weapon skin. Yeah, that's basically what the microtransactions will be. And the funny thing is, right, you don't even have to buy the microtransactions, because all the stuff that you'll be able to get through microtransactions, apart from probably if they release some, I don't know, special limited edition stuff, you will be able to get in drops from going out and killing things, okay? So remember when I talked about those endgame style raids in high level dungeons? Yeah, guess what you get from that? Things that you get from microtransactions. The only reason microtransactions are in the game is if you want that thing sooner, so you see a piece of armor and you're like, man, I really wish I could have that. Like someone's wearing it and you're like, I want that. And they're like, oh yeah, no, I was in a raid and I got it. And you'll be like, oh cool, which raid? And they'll be like, this one. So you'll go do a raid or whatever, or you'll go do like just some killing, and you'll be like, damn, I never got it. You can just buy it. That's the thing. And, you know, as well as just buying it, it helps keep the server going. All the money from microtransactions goes towards Bethesda's online servers, okay? So you are actually helping out the game by buying stuff. And I'm not saying go and buy everything. You know, it's more fun to go out and try and win a fight and get it. You know, like you come across a super legendary, glowing, confused Deathclaw or some shit like that. It's more fun to like try and fight that thing and, you know, maybe die in the process, maybe, you know, survive with a slither of health. It's more fun to do that than it is to buy. But I can understand that sometimes, you know, you go to do some farming, and you might, after all this farming, you might not get it, and you're like, oh damn, that's the one thing I really wanted. Like stuff you used to be able to do in Borderlands, where people would go and try and farm for a specific gun and it wouldn't happen for hours, and yeah, you could just buy it that way, you know, just buy the skin, there you go, that's it. So before all of you go angrily talking and typing in the comment section down below, remember, everything I've talked about is from information we know. I'm literally just saying it back to you in a way that is not as elegant as the way other people have said it. So this information is not my personal information. This is information given to us from interviews, okay? And if you want, I will put in the description a link to all of the Fallout 76 themed interviews, which you can go and check out for yourself and really pay attention to. If you're one of the people who is just, oh, Fallout's going to be another Rust clone, and you've come across this video, please go and check all of the interviews that I will put in the description down below, because this game is going to be interesting, and we don't need people just jumping on it and trying to give it bad press or just try and knock it down a peg before we know anything about it, right? So go check them out. And for the other ones who have paid attention to the interviews and have said, you know, oh, this game's going to be quite interesting, I want to know some things you'd like to see from Fallout 76 and put it in the description down below, or whatever, you know, just put it in the, not in the description, sorry, put it in the comment section down below. And I will say this, all the information I've got, I might have missed one or two interviews, so I might have glossed over something or said something that was correct at one point and has been changed now. If I have, do not be the person who's like, oh my god, you're such a liar, la 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 la. Go and put the information that I might have got wrong in the description down below, in the comment section down below, sorry, and I will gladly listen to it and have a nice friendly debate, okay? What we don't need is just people trying to bash this game from the get-go, and if you're one of those people, I don't know, God bless you, I guess, and I'm not a religious guy, but apart from that, you know the drill, like, share and subscribe. Please comment down below with information or anything you'd like to talk about the Fallout 76 game that will come out, and possibly some better information that I might not know about. But as always, stay awesome.